Hey guys, welcome back to another Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War video. This is Drakkalan. Today we're going to talk about Vivian, right? This is a Nat 5 water hero. She's a priest. She's walk, she's mobility 2. Mine is currently a 5-star awakened version. We are going to be putting her costume on her this episode as well. So she's considered one of the better healers in the game because she's got a very nice skill kit. She's a Nat 5, so she's got pretty high base stats. If you look right now, my stats are kind of low. Again, she's running pretty much all 5-star runes. I think they're mostly legendary, but plenty of room for growth, plenty of room for things to be better. I would definitely like her to be faster and have a little bit more defense and HP and a little bit more accuracy, right? Because I want her to land those glancing hits that we'll talk about in a second with her skills. We look at the way that we want to rune Vivian. Vivian being a priest and having skills that are kind of based off of specific stats. I'm trying to build mine Swift Life. I may also build her in the future with, I believe it was Earthquake. Yeah, Earthquake runes is what I'm wanting to swap her to eventually for the stun on attack because her attack hits multiple enemies, and I would like my DPS units to stay pretty much full DPS. So if we were able to get an extra stun here and there with Vivian, that would be pretty nice, especially since she's going to be hitting the other units. So if we could stun and glancing hit, it just gives us that much more survivability, so she's that much better at doing her job. But for now, the focus is going to be on getting better runes, getting more speed, more HP, more accuracy on everything that we can. So right now we've got the, like I said, we got all Swift runes and a broken set. And don't worry about having sets only. You can do broken runes if you need to, just to have the stats. I use her in a lot of different dungeons and arena right now. So her runes are not great. They're not terrible. I mean, they are, like I said, pretty much all legendary runes. And the way I've got her built is pretty much the way I would recommend anybody to build her. I don't know why I can't click on that one. So you want to build her speed, HP is what my recommendation would be. You could put accuracy in there early game, but at the end of the day, you're wanting her to live as long as she possibly can. And whenever I'm fighting people in arena and guild war, I'll bring her in so that she can tank or act as my water tank so that I can bring my DPS in. Say we're fighting all green units, I can bring her in and let her kind of handle the brunt of the damage while they all sit there and get their free attacks. So typically she's running with Ifrit in those circumstances. She's already awoken, and if we jump into the skill sets on her, we'll start at S3, Legs Protection. At the start of the turn, Vivian removes 1 debuff from the ally with the lowest HP percent and grants them continuous recovery for 1 turn. I like this because it helps out your unit that's struggling the most at that moment, and it applies every 2 turns. So you'll see continuous recovery pop up pretty well, and it definitely helps keep your guys up, even if it's just by a slither of health. That might be that one slither that makes a difference between a won battle and a lost battle. S3, Healing Hand. This one is one I'm hoping I get a lot of skill ups into pretty soon, just to increase the amount of HP that applies, but recovers 35% of max HP of a target ally if the target has continuous recovery, which goes into her latent effect on her S4. The Healing Hands cooldown is reduced by 2 turns, so this is potentially able to be on a 1-turn cooldown, and if you paired her up with other units that give themselves continuous recovery, Ingwe, for example, then you're just basically getting 1-turn cooldown quite often, especially with a hero like Ingwe who does an AoE provoke. And I mean, it just works out pretty well to have a tanky hero and a tanky healer that work in sync with one another. If we go to the S2, Hand of Freedom, you and surrounding allies gain debuff immunity for 1 turn and increased defense for 2 turns. Now this is huge, and this is why I wanted speed on her. The only concern I have is the way this game works, the AI is not the smartest. So a lot of times I'm trying to run auto. Instead of running auto, I need to control my units because of the way the game works where you have to move across the tiles. A lot of times she'll pop this while we're too far away to do anything or before the enemy units can hit us. So what would be better is if we moved up like 2 spaces or 2 lines, let the enemy come in, and then before they can cast their debuffs, that's when we pop up the debuff immunity and the defense. But for now, like, she'll pop this first turn quite often, which doesn't do us any good. And then if we look at skill 1, Frost Arrow, and this is what I was talking about, being one of the better abilities I like from her. Fires a Frost Arrow at enemies within a target area. Successful hits have a 50% chance to increase the glancing rate of enemies hit for 1 turn. And this is why I was talking about putting her on Earthquake runes potentially, is so that she can hit them with his glancing and at the same time help mitigate damage by stunning the enemy. But it's going to require really good runes to make that happen. So I don't see that I don't see that becoming in a build anytime soon. But that's what I'm going to shoot for ultimately. Other than that, she works honestly off of any set. Just I wouldn't put your best DPS runes on her. She's not going to be a good farmer because she's going to be focused more on heals. So don't build her. She would not be my first pick for a 6-star unit. She would be my second or third pick for a 6-star unit. And like you said, mine does fine, and she's only a 5-star, but could definitely benefit from those increased stats. Let's see what the reviews look like for her. Yeah, so if you look at the review sheet, people kind of agree with me. I don't know why they have charge on here. Probably just because they have charge runes. But life is number 1, Swift is number 2. Over time, we're probably going to see that change, and Swift become number 1, life become number 2, and Earthquake or something become number 3. So yeah, and you see good for PvE, PvP, and that's true. She can definitely get you through PvE, no problem. Just pair up with a DPS and you're good to go. That's going to get you all the way through Conqueror. Some people are, her Demeanor for your first heal. Rhea is another good option. Daphne. There's a lot of good priests in this game. So let's see. She hits pretty hard. A lot of people are saying Swift set. Yeah. So just to give you guys another opinion, so you're not basing everything off of only what I say. Oh, server just reset. Get some of these daily gems and attendance rewards. And like I said, we're going to pop our costume. I've got about 400 and something tokens. Yeah, 422. I don't have any other costumes I'm really needing or interested in at the moment. We could get Bunny. That's about the only other Nat 5 costume that I have the unit for. The Nat 4s I'm not too concerned about. So we're just going to go ahead and pop it for Vivian. And in all honesty, if we look at her basic... See, I don't know why there's two different basics, but if we look at her basic outfit, it's not too bad. I like the blue hair, the elf ears. We change it to this, and all of a sudden she's a blonde. But it gives her 15 more defense and 2 crit rate, which isn't great. It's not going to break the game. It's not going to give me a huge advantage, but any advantage is good in a game like this, especially as we eventually grow into rune farming in the next couple of weeks and into very strict arena fights where we're going to be trying to do arena fights around the clock as often as the tickets are available. Because right now we're sitting in gold and we want to be in crystal. And then equip it now that we bought it. So good to go, guys. And that's it for this video. Like I said, we want to toss the costume on and talk about Vivian. If there's anybody else you would like me to cover, leave it in the comments below. The next video is probably going to be Prey because somebody commented one of my last videos that that's what they wanted to see. So hope you guys get lucky in your summons and have a good one.